Welcome to Take 5, a podcast brought to you by Newleaf Training and Development. Each edition is an inspiring interview with a leader worth listening to. Enjoy.
Hey, I'm Paul Butler. I'm one of the client partners at Newleaf Training and Development. I'm delighted to be joined today by Pedro Espinoza, who is the Director of Operational Excellence of CR Laurence. Pedro, for nearly 17 years now at Newleaf, we focused on our core purpose of helping people and organisations better manage themselves, lead others, and grow business acumen. I just wondered, what are your recommended best practices to help people and organisations be their best? But please start, though, by telling us a little bit more about your organisation, what you do, and who you serve. So over to you, Pedro, and I'll wrap it up when you're done.
Excellent. Well, great to be here, Paul. Thank you for the invitation. Hope everyone has the opportunity to view this and enjoy this video. It's really around to touch on a little bit about what I do. So I'm responsible for implementing and managing the CRL manufacturing operational excellence system here with CR Laurence, part of the OBE or Old Castle Building Envelope company. And we're here to support and drive efforts with the leadership team that are based on improving our processes, maximizing productivity, eliminating waste, and obviously improving performance. And we do this mainly by initiating, driving, overseeing continuous improvement efforts, cost-saving projects, and really driving that operational excellence, lean manufacturing concepts throughout the organization. So as part of that, I'd like to share with everyone today three main points, three main takeaways. One will be policy deployment. The other will be effective communication. And lastly, it would focus on celebrating wins. So as part of this, the policy deployment activities, and known as Hoshin Connery, it's really a leadership process and a method for ensuring that the organization's strategic goals really drive progress at all levels of the organization throughout the company. And I've seen this work very effectively, and I believe that this is key in ensuring that every team member, every employee understands their role, how they impact the why, where the strategy or the strategic goals are driven from, where the company is going, and how they directly impact that every day. So it obviously creates employee engagement at every level, and it ties well with the continuous improvement journey, as well as we're constantly looking at ways to move the business forward and implement those processes that are needed to ensure that we're constantly following through and being successful, essentially having a good day when our employees leave every day, understanding where they need to be and if they're winning and how they're doing against that. So it's really a very positive system and process to have in order to maintain that long-term sustainment as well. So it gives everyone purpose and the ability to understand and know that they're having a good day. So I'll transition to effective communication. And that's actually a very important factor as well for business, because many a times we experience conflict, misunderstanding between departments, teams, and colleagues. And that could be also through implementation of strategies that may be misunderstood, agreements or plans that fall through because of the ineffective communication. So in order to really drive a good collaboration, openness, trust, and drive those positive actions, I think a couple of things we need to focus on. One is the method or channel of which we want to exchange information. And for that, many times there aren't really good processes developed within organizations to do that. So that would be a key area to focus in to ensure that depending on the level of urgency of what needs to be communicated, there may be a different method versus sending an email, maybe making a direct phone call or pulling in the team to address that issue. Another key aspect of having effective communication is really knowing your audience, knowing your team members, so that you can adjust based on the person's style. All of us are different, unique, so we absorb and take information differently. So that would be another key aspect to ensure that we're being effective in our communication approach. And lastly, I wanted to touch on celebrating wins. A lot of times we forget to do this whenever we reach a goal or accomplish our goal. We move on to the next, but it's key to make sure that we step back and celebrate those wins, because it reminds us of the goals that were set in place. It shows that we're good, focused, where we have a good focused goal setting process, that we are make sure that we motivate our team, and obviously it makes our employees proud as well, that they realize that they're working for a winning organization as we progress and achieve our goals. And so one of the things that it also does is it builds momentum. Many of you have probably heard of the flywheel effect, referred to by Jim Collins in his books Good to Great, as well as the flywheel effect. And that is just gaining that momentum and traction to continue to move the business forward and drive that collaboration with all of your team members. And these are the key aspects that I wanted to share with you today.
Pedro, thanks ever so much. They're really clear. I love those three things that you reflected on there. Just offering a quick response to something you mentioned there about celebrating the win. I'm a great believer in that. And when I was with Hilton Hotels, we used to have this phrase that, what you reward tends to get repeated. What you applaud tends to get amplified. And that principle I found to be so true in different parts of the world as well. So thanks ever so much for your time today. I just want to give a big shout out to the subscribers as well, to keep an eye on the events page on the website for events that members of Newleaf are speaking at, many of which are free for you to be able to attend, and also the State of Learning webinar that we have coming up at the start of the year. Pedro, could I offer you a virtual high five?
Sure. All right, here we go. High five, sir.
Pedro, thanks ever so much for your time again today, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pedro.
I hope you found that interview useful, and if you did, feel free to rate, review, and share this podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we also invite you to check out our other weekly podcast, Going the Extra Mile, which is sure to lift your spirit and encourage you in today's working world. Bye for now.